everybody, and welcome again to Roxania Speaks. Yes, I know you guys have not seen me for a while, and I will provide an update later on. But before you go on, I just wanted to click that button for me, the like button, of course, like up the video, guys. We have an interesting topic to talk about today. I know many persons who are in the learning institution, tertiary institution would be happy to hear about this video that we'll be doing today. So, of course, we have a guest today. Her name is Shanae, and she'll be telling us about the work exchange, work and study program. And I was going to UTech, it was called that. She'll tell us all about it, all about what I would have missed in terms of my experience while going to college. And so I'm going to just ask her to introduce herself and let us get straight into our discussion. So Shanae, tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shanae. I'm a university student at UTech. I'm currently going into my 4th year, and I am currently in Michigan on the work and travel program.
All right, work and travel program. I said work and study earlier. To be work and travel program. All right, yes. So work and travel program. Tell us about this program and why you decide to apply to it.
All right, so the work and travel program is geared towards university students and college students as well. As long as you attend a tertiary institution, you qualify for this program. So the aim of it is for students to share their culture with others, and it's just really an exchange of ideas, cultures, maybe cuisine, languages, etc. And the J-1 actually is the type of visa that you use to enter the country and be eligible to work.
All right. So let me get this clear. So from you're in a tertiary institution. So it's not just a UE or a UTech or a UCC.
No.
So you have the community colleges as well. These persons can participate.
Teachers' colleges as well, any tertiary institution.
All right. So you mentioned the second question that I have would be about eligibility. So first, I have to be a student at these institutions. What else do I need to qualify for this program?
All right, you need to have a passport indeed, and you need to be within the ages, well, you need to at least be 18 because that's the limit we have as adults in Jamaica.
Right.
But some programs, they might ask that you be under the age of 30, some stop at 28. It depends on which agency you go with. But for the most part, you need to be at least 18 years old before you can apply. You would also require some letter or some official document from your school that states that you are indeed a student there. That's one of the things that they require you to have.
Do you have to have a particular GPA or anything to participate?
To my knowledge, no. I have asked around with some other students that I know are trying to go to the program, and so far no one has any complaints that their GPA was the reason they were turned away.
Okay. So in that letter though, it would probably state what a GPA is. Do they ask for a progress report? Or just a letter to say you're a student and in this year and so forth?
All right. In order for you to be enrolled with your Jamaican agency, they require you to probably present a status letter. Just to say that, yes, this person is a student, stamped, sealed by whosoever.
Okay.
For the GPA section now, your agency might tell you to bring that with you, like a transcript or a progress report to the embassy. But to just apply with the Jamaican agency, all you need is just a letter to say that you are a student, as well as your school ID if you have it.
Okay. I hear you mention an agent. Is it that you have independent agencies outside of these colleges, or you have to apply through your school? How does it work?
All right, so that's where things get a bit tricky. So I know you guys have probably seen in the news about students getting scammed and the school saying it's not their responsibility. And it is true because as far as I know, and I've spoken to other persons, there is no school that really sits down and tells you apply to this. They don't do that. They might provide a list of agencies that they know throughout the years and say, okay, you can use this. However, they are not responsible for anything that happens to you. So really and truly, these are independent agencies.
Okay. So the independent. So the Ministry of Labor and Social Security would have a listing of these, right?
Yes, they should have a listing.
Okay, guys, in my previous video, where I was talking about the H-2B visa, and I mentioned a listing, I think these institutions are also listed on this. So if you can go back to that video and look, or you can go on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security website. It is also in the description on that video. I can probably put the link here as well, and you can look at some of these agencies that provide these services. All right. So you're on your own with that. You're just recommended, and then you do your due diligence to ensure that these are legitimate agency. Okay, great. So walk me through it, Shan. So you've been referred, you've been given a list. You look at the list, you do your due diligence, you select an agency. What comes next?
All right. So for me, I asked around with a few family members who have also went on the program, and they suggested IRSS, that's International Recruiting Staffing Solutions. They have several offices. Their main office is located in Crossroads, that's behind the Azan Super Center. So for that agency, there is a registration fee that you must pay first. So the fee includes getting the DS form, application forms, and there are other administrative fees. So the total amount that you would pay for that is $6,000. All
right.
Along with that,
continue, Shan. I'll just ask a question after.
Okay, so along with that $6,000, you would need your status letter, you'd need your passport, you need a passport size picture, you need a copy of your school ID, and you just need to fill out their application form and their profile information. And that's it. The registration section is completed.
All right, thanks. So backtracking now. So you have your valid passport that it won't expire within 6 months, right? And your pictures, you mentioned pictures, you mentioned a status letter, ID, photo ID, school ID.
Yeah.
Else you mentioned? You mentioned a fee. Does this fee include, and you mentioned the DS1?
DS-19.
That's the regular visa, that's the form, that's the visa application form?
No, the visa application form requires you to have a DS-160. That's required for all types of visa as long as it's non-immigrant. For the J-1 program specifically, and I'm not quite sure if it applies to the H-2B, but I know for J-1 for sure, you need a DS.
So guys, the DS-2019 form, or the Certificate of Eligibility for Exchange Visitor Status, that is a J-1, is a document that is used in the Exchange Visitor Program. So this form allows for a prospective student or exchange visitor to seek an interview at the U.S. Embassy in order to get the J-1 visa to enter the United States. So the form the same DS2019, it identifies who the visitor is or the student, and their sponsor, that's the person who they intend to work with in America. And it also provides a description of what the program is about. Include information like the start and the end date, the category of exchange, the estimate of the cost of the program. So it provides a little detail about the form. So I'm going to show that form to you as well. How can you get the form? So the sponsor now, the person you're going to stay with or work for, the sponsor, they're authorized to issue this form to the prospective exchange visitor slash student who they have screened and selected to participate in the program. Information is completed by the sponsor before it is given to the student or the participant, who, once they have gotten that form from their sponsor, they can go to the embassy and apply for the visa. And remember, guys, it's not a must. It is at the discretion of the consulate offices, right? And we'll talk about that in interview later on. So with that form, you personally fill it out, or the persons at the agency complete it for you on your behalf?
The DS form that's filled by your agency, the only thing you really need to do is sign your name and put your signature and date it. That's really it on your part.
Okay, good. So even what about the okay, so that is the process. So you'd have submitted that and waited for them to tell me what happens after you submit it. You submit these documents.
Okay, so after I did all of that, there is a second stage in which you need to first attend a job fair. That's a term, job fair. It's not a literal fair or even a virtual fair. All right. So what my agency did, because of COVID-19 and stuff, there was limited face-to-face interaction. So what they did was they sent a few job offers via email. However, on their official website, they have a section called the job bank, which is where you see the different jobs which state they're in and a brief description. So in the way they distribute the payment is that in order to see this job bank, you need to pay roughly 45% of the entire program fee to see the job banks. However, to select the job, you need to pay 75% of the program fee.
What is the program fee?
All right. So for my company, the program fee was $1,650. That's in US dollars.
$1,650 US.
Yes.
And for you to select a job, you had to pay 75% of that upfront to get that link.
Yes. So that's roughly about 1,200, give or take.
Okay.
In order to select a job and be placed with them.
So at this moment now, Shana,
yes,
I'm saying that you would have been accepted. You pass round one and you've been accepted on the program. It's now for you to make a payment. And once you can make that payment, you're automatically in, or you still have to. And are you guaranteed a J-1 visa? Do you pay the $1,750 before you get your visa?
Yes, you do. Why? Because for you to go to the embassy and apply for the J-1 visa, you need to show proof that you are indeed hired by a sponsor. So you'd have to select the job and pay the fee so that your local agency, as well as your sponsor abroad, can do their respective filing processes and get those required forms to you.
Right. Okay.
So you would have to pay the fee before you can go to the embassy and get the J-1 visa.
I don't want to talk about the embassy, guys, because we'll have another video with Shan. She's going to tell us her experience in going through the J-1 visa application. But we're not really getting into it, but I'm going to ask you a question about it. Did your agency completed that application on your behalf? Was that part as well a part of the fee that you would have paid? Does that service is included in that?
No. So the way my agency has it, you have to create an account with them, sign in their email, create a password and everything. And then from there, they have several sections where they ask you to complete a J-1 application form. They ask you to complete your profile form, and they have several other sections where they might distribute orientation dates or give out general information.
Okay, so making it clear for your people out there. All right, so upon registering with your agency, you actually have an account with them. So you're able to go on a platform and to complete these documents. But you mentioned that the first form, the company actually did that for you, you only signed. But this form now, in terms of the visa form, you were the one who personally entered the information in there. Yes. Okay, great. I just want to make sure that we are clear. All right. So, and after you go and you get the visa, what happened after that? After you pay, no, where we're at, after you made that payment, what happens next?
All right. After you make the payment, you will be asked to make a maximum of probably two job choices. So they'll ask, so based on the list, you select two that you'd like to work at. And then from there, based on their placement details, like if the first location is filled, they will place you in the second one. And once you are confirmed in a job, that is it. You can't change it again.
Okay, great. And before this selection, you mentioned that you would have been given that link once you pay the 75% of the details that would include your pay and that sort of thing, where the place is at, all kind of everything that you need to know about the organization.
Yes, they give you a brief description. So for me, they usually send the descriptions in a PDF. So you would see the name of the company, where exactly it's located, the state. They would give you a brief description of the company, like probably if there's a lake surrounding it, the temperatures there. They would also give a brief description of the housing. They would tell you whether uniforms might be provided or not, how much you get paid, your rent, or if a housing deposit is required, stuff like that. So it's very brief in the initial part before you select. Once you select, they will give you a more detailed description.
Okay, good. So you know what you're getting into. You just don't turn up and it is something else. You'd have known that it is cold or it is hot. You'd have known if it's a shared facility, yes or no. You'd have known if the money is gonna come out of the rent is responsible, if the sponsor is responsible for the rent, or it will be deducted from your salary each week or every other week, or how often you get paid as well.
For those details as to whether it would be deducted, I was not told. However, they made sure to tell you how much the rent was before you confirmed yourself in the job. So they tell you your rent, they give you an estimate of the hours you might receive. The hours are not guaranteed. They're not guaranteed at all, because some months are slower than others. Supposed to still be in the country.
All right, suppose you're working, you have gotten 4 days, right? And you realize that because, like you said, the time has changed, things slow down, they only ask you to work for 1 day, because remember, the hours are not guaranteed. Can I now find another job, right, to supplement my earnings. While I still work at Walmart, but now I'm working at one of those retail outlet store. Gap.
Yes, you could at your own discretion, however, because based upon your company or the agreement you had with the host company, you may be allowed to have a second job with
Okay.
them. But bear in mind that you need to make sure that you show up at that work and you're on time, you're not late, or whatever second job you have should never interfere with the job that you were first given.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Guys, so you hear, it sounds very nice. So if you're unable to save up that money to try and apply, if you're in a first year, fourth year persons, if you're unable to go, I'm sorry, because that would have been the end of your year. But if you're in a first year or second, no?
There's a point to note.
Yes.
For first years, if you're in your first semester, you cannot apply. You have to be in your second semester. Fourth year persons are able to apply, but based upon what some other persons have said to me, there's a possibility that you might have problems at the embassy because they need to be assured that you will come back home. So yeah, fourth year persons might face a bit of a challenge.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, guys. So second year and third year, ideal. Final year, no, you might go to the people and place and they'll come back. And the aim is for you to come back home because you're just going to share your cultural experiences, right? What is the pay range like? I'm interested. I want to know whether or not it will be beneficial for me because I have to pay what, $17.50 for, well, depends on your agency. I have to pay this money upfront and then I need to have pocket money and all sort of stuff. I need to ensure that whenever I go, I'm able to make back that money. So what's the pay range like for these kind of jobs?
All right, so there are several different opportunities that agency might present to you. They might give you amusement parks where you could probably be a ride operator. You could be in food and service there. You could do housekeeping at a hotel. You could be a cashier, or a room attendant, or a store attendant. It all depends on what opportunities you choose. And another thing to, all right, so the pay rates that I have seen so far range from roughly $8 per hour to even $30 per hour. So to be fair with you, the higher paying jobs that I have seen so far are in Alaska. But Alaska is freezing cold, which is why they offer you that much. So if you are able to handle it, I suggest choose an Alaskan job. If not, I suggest you choose something else. And another thing to note when you're choosing where to go based on the pay, always note how much your rent is. So you should probably do a little budget. So draw up a little budget and write expenses and income. So do a rough estimate of how many hours you could probably work. I would say put 5 to be safe, 5. Because as I said, the hours are not guaranteed. So I would say 5 is a decent bet. So you check out how many hours, then you would probably estimate how much your rent is, as well as food. And I think you should also research where you live where you will live in the US versus where your workplace is. So whether you need to take the bus, is it walking distance? Will bicycles be provided so you can ride to work? You'd also need to figure that out. And if you work in the food section, there's a possibility that your company might give you a free meal. If not, they might discount it. So you could also factor that into your groceries. Yeah, so I highly recommend
Absolutely
doing a project.
nice. Right, so you have to be savvy because the aim as well to learn and to get, you need to bend, you need to make sure that you capitalize on this opportunity that you'd have been given. So it's not a joyride, guys, right?
Mhm.
So you earn while you travel. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to share with them, Sean, but that's there you have it. That's it. In detail to me, how to, what this work and travel program is all about and how you can access it. Again, guys, I'm going to put a link in the description below for the list of agencies that you can contact, and these are agencies provided by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Their information is listed on their website. So you can click on the ministry's link, look, you call the persons, and you do your due diligence, right? Because you have to find a registration fee and you don't want nobody to scam you. So make sure that you do your research. Thank you again, Shan, for providing us with such detailed information. And I hope you guys out there in the YouTube land would have found it interesting. If there are any questions that you have, guys, please post it again in the comments below. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Oh, and guys, remember to like, share this video, and comment below. Thanks again, Shan. Thank you everybody for watching, and be safe until next time. Bye.
Bye.